na uongozi wake. Lakini kwa sasa tufuatilie matukio kuhusiana na ripoti ambayo imewasilishwa bungeni kujadili kuidhinishwa au kukataliwa kwa Inspector General wa polisi Douglas Kanja ambaye alipigwa msasa juma lililopita. Hivi sasa Maseneta wanaendelea kujadili ripoti hiyo. Tusikize kauli zao.
Expressions and all that, and I really request that the nominee address the issue of vehicles, shortage of police vehicles. We realize that a number of stations, police stations, has no vehicles. If there is no vehicle, then there is no fuel, there is no transport, there is no supervision, there is no security, there is a highly shortage of security. The issue of houses in this country for police is something at this Viosk. Most of them stays at, shanty areas, and even it's horrible. It's a horrible situation for the police, police service. Honorable Speaker, I also want the nominee to address the issue of border points, particularly on areas of, these border points where, like in Kajiado, we have a big problem where Tanzania authorities are really threatening members of this country. They are abducting, they are arresting, they take our...
Senator Richard Onyonka.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I take this opportunity to contribute to this very, very important matter. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I take this opportunity to... Mr. Speaker, the selection, nomination, maybe appointment of the Inspector General of Police is one of the major positions that in our country is highly regarded and respected. Mr. Speaker, the feeling I have is that in our republic, even when as a country we have done exceptionally well when it came to performing internationally. And Mr. Speaker, because of the institutional memory, many of my friends here may not know that or remember that Kenya is actually the country that provided security teams from the Kenyan Police Service to go to Namibia to set up their police system after their independence. Kenya did the same in Zimbabwe. Kenya did the same in Rwanda. And right now, Kenya is in Haiti. Internationally, we've kept a highly respectful kind of engagement, and people have known us as a country that believes in the rule of law and a country that has performed quite reasonably well when it came to our police service. But then, Mr. Speaker, one of the things that I have observed, and I happen to be very lucky because I've been around for quite a while, the police service that we have right now is actually dysfunctional. One of the issues that I would like to raise, and my colleagues and friends here have raised this issue, Mr. Speaker, is that you can't have a police officer who stays in a mud hut with him and his colleagues, even sharing rooms with their wives. We can't have a police service, Mr. Speaker, where a police officer sometimes is transferred unilaterally because he has annoyed some big person somewhere where their rights are violated. We can't have a police service where their salary, for obvious reasons, because I would spend most probably a whole day discussing how we have mistreated our police service. And yet, indeed, because of this dysfunctionality, Mr. Speaker, the police service, the Kenyan police service, has failed us miserably. The recent events that you saw happen, my colleagues have talked about unilateral arrests. Mr. Speaker, if you look at it right now, a gentleman called Jimmy Wanjigi was arrested. His house was demolished. And these are issues that I would like to seek in this house and to my brothers. I remember when Cherargei was being arrested some 3 years ago, and he was screaming, saying, oh my God, Mr. Speaker, what is going to happen to me? These people came at 5 o'clock in the morning. Mr. Speaker, at that time when Cherargei was speaking, Senator Cherargei was speaking and crying, I thought he had lost his mind. Mr. Speaker, I would like to encourage Mr. Kanja
Mr. Speaker, I stand under Standing Order 101 and 105 on statement of fact. Mr. Speaker, is it in order to go on the answered of this House that I was yelling and crying? Me, I'm a dry Kalenjin man who was circumcised in 3 a.m. in the morning. Is it in order for the Senator of Kisii to insinuate I was crying? In fact, I was arrested naked, but I've never cried about it, Mr. Speaker. Can he apologize to me and the great men of Nandi and the people of Nandi, Mr. Speaker, in the spirit of Koitalel Samoe and the Talai, Mr. Speaker? They claim that I was yelling. How can a man yell? How can a man yell? Screaming and yelling. And yelling. Kicking in the air. Can he apologize and say you made it in jest?
Mr. Speaker, I literally saw Honorable Senator Cherargei wailing, asking for his gods to excuse him. And when I asked him what was the problem, he told me he had seen Mr. Matiang'i the night before. It was scary for him, Mr. Speaker. I'm using this argument, Mr. Speaker, to justify... Yes, sir. Mr. Speaker, could you allow me to look for... Yes. I promise to deliver the video, sir, because I wouldn't wish... Mr. Speaker, Honorable Kongo Mogeni would like...
I have not given that permission. So upon our return,
yes,
we proceed on recess today.
Yes.
At the adjournment of this House, we proceed on recess. Once we come back on the 17th of September,
I'll provide the video and show how he was crying.
Now proceed to conclude.
He was wailing.
Proceed.
Mr. Speaker, I wanted to say that I plead with the new Inspector General of Police to make sure that he carries himself that he has. Mr. Kanja is somebody we all know. I would like him to look at several issues, but I want to plead with this House and the National Assembly for the police service to perform. They have always said, and I believe them, Mr. Speaker, because we went as a committee and met the team from the police service during the Shakahola hearings. And Mr. Speaker, our forensic labs hardly work. The police vehicles don't have fuel. You find that the police officers don't even have insurance for themselves. You find that most of the issues that are involving the police are treated casually. I would like to plead that we provide them with the necessary funding, make sure that this aspect of corruption and aspects of roadblocks being stationed everywhere on our roads, I think it needs to be rationalized. And to finish, Mr. Speaker, I would like to say that I hope as Mr. Kanja will do an excellent job, make sure that this House interfaces with him, because we are the ones who will be oversighting him. I believe that he is a man who's capable of understanding that he must be seen to offer justice, he must be seen to be fair, and he must be seen to be a person who's willing to make Kenya a better place than he found it. Other than that, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to say that I honestly do feel that Mr. Kanja will be able to manage this office, and I hope that my colleagues in this house will be open enough for us to make sure that we begin to change our systems which are failing. Our children who are killed, we don't have the data. That has already been mentioned, Mr. Speaker. So I would like to say that some things we need closure, some things we need to be honest with ourselves, because if you don't have justice, you cannot have peace. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, with those very few remarks.
Senator Kanja.